Evening, everybody. It's 6:23, and this is your closing comment for Monday, the 23rd. And it is video number 1631. Okay, so this morning we had leading economic indicators. They were down 1% versus an expectation of down 0.7%, and also versus an adjusted down 1.1% for last month. Um, we had a bunch of names that I brought to you this morning, so I'm just going to give you a quick update on those. Pliant PLRX, which had traded as high as 43 and change, never got past 36.50 this morning. Came down as low as 29.94, and although it closed near the low at 30.28, it was up $7.77. That was the one with the therapies for pulmonary issues. On the AQUA XYL acquisition today, the number that XYL came out and used was $52.89 for about 7.5 billion. Didn't work out that way because the stock, which had closed at 110, only had a high today of a low today of 97.29 and closed at 101.42, and that was down $8.76. So the deal became worth that much less as Xylem sank in today's up market. Spotify layoffs this morning. This morning we talked about it. It was about 104, got down as low as 99.94. Actually 99.38. It closed at 99.94, which was still, again, on the low, but still up $2. CRM, Salesforce, and Elliott Management this morning, when we looked at that, it was about 158.65, up 740. At the close today, it was 155.87, up 462. So it gave back a little, but it was still up 3%. Paramount, somebody recommended it. The stock was 21.16, up 86, but that was part of a move that spread across all of those streaming services, while Netflix, which had a low 3 days ago of 313 and a high today of 362, closed 357.65, up 15.15. They reported last week, in case you forgot. It was up 4.5% today, but in the 3 days we were up 16%. So the markets were strong today. Carryover was a little squishy first thing this morning around the open. But the Dow actually made a high of up 407, closed up 254. Advanced declines just under 3 to 1 at 2.8 to 1. NASDAQ closed up 224, and that was as high as 265. So that one held on pretty well. And advanced declines there were a little bit weaker at 1.8 to 1, which is still pretty decent for the NASDAQ. S&P had been up 67, closed up 47.20, or 1.2%. I want to make mention of that very specifically because the close there was 40.1981. And so that was the number that we were looking at not being able to close above 4,000. So we did it today, and we did it with a lot of volume. We traded 5.9 billion shares today, which is about 22 or 23% more than Friday, and a little bit more than that above the average. The transports closed up 214, which was 1.5%. The screen on the chart is silver, and the reason it's there is because we put on a position today in the silver, and I will show you pretty much where it was and what it was doing at the time. I've been talking about the fact that, we've been locked into this 23 and a quarter up to 24 and a half. So it came down hard this morning, even though the gold was up. And so when it came down there, we put in an order. We bought the AGQ, which is the leveraged silver. We bought it versus right around this 23.22, 23.25 area. It got all the way up back into the 23 and a half area, 23.60, which is about where it closed. And tonight it is up about a penny and a half. So really nothing, but we bought it on the pullback here. We bought it on the pullback here. And so we bought it again. We break that low, we'll be gone. We paid $1.45 and $1.50 for the calls. They closed at $1.70. The energy was the only one of my sectors that was a little iffy. I shouldn't say that exactly because food supply chain was mixed. Airlines were slightly lower. But energy was also really a mixed bag, with some of the stocks up, some of the stocks down. The point being that oil was higher this morning, came back down a little. It was a very quiet day. I'll show you, it was an inside day too. So let's just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. It was an inside day, higher. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't. It was inside for the week. For the day today, it was down 2 pennies, and tonight it is down 6 cents. But it's in this consolidation, and $80 has just been a magnet for this. So, I'm looking for a close, back to the upside, anywhere above, let's just call it on a Friday, anywhere above this 83.10 area. All right, everyone, there you go. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Hope everyone had a really good day. It was an interesting day. By the way, I just want to mention one thing. Around 2:30 or 3 o'clock, they started to sell them off a bit. And the Dow, which, as I said, was up 407, got back to up about 150 and then added that 100 back afterwards. The reason I bring it up is because on the S&P, which had been up 67, it came all the way back down to just over. This is the cash I'm talking about. Came back to just over that 4,000 level and started to tick right back up. So I take that as more important than the Dow, which is only 30 stocks, and the NASDAQ, which is heavily weighted towards those big mega cap names that you're all familiar with. Tomorrow morning before the open, GE, Verizon, 3M, Halliburton, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, and DR Horton. After the close, there's another meaningful list, but I will tell you it's Microsoft and Texas Instruments that will be the features. And we also have IHS manufacturing and service PMIs before the open. So there you go. Now you know everything that I have to say.